Think Tank, and it is Tuesday, 2 p.m. or a minute or two after Eastern. Don, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to see you again, Mike. It's amazing that these weeks keep flying by, and LinkTank continues to grow. So, what's on your mind this week, Mike? What can we work on?
Well, I'll introduce the promise. You will start the fulfillment of the promise. So, LinkTank, the objective is for everyone to spend 20 minutes with us, and during those 20 minutes, learn one thing that you can put to work. The key is learn and do. No one needs more information. In fact, more information actually can work against you if you're one of those people that are a shiny object chasing the blue pill or the red pill, whatever it is. More information will work against you. You should have less information, but the right information. And that's why Don and I are here. So that's LinkTank. And then, of course, we will be releasing the LinkTank membership experience that is going to happen. It'll be a weekly experience with Don and I deep in the weeds, exposing the stuff that's working and absolutely the stuff to avoid. But you can message us and get on the early list for that. So, Don, let's step in and let's give them some wisdom.
I'm excited. We always try to action and knowledge pack these 20 minutes. So, try to really compress things for everybody to simplify and get some easy understanding. A lot of times what's simple is not always easy, but it can be. So we break it down into really three important stages. One is learning LinkedIn. The other is applying what you learn to LinkedIn to some activity. And ultimately, it all comes down to resolution and success. So what you applied, did it work? Working, again, depends on your definition of what your goal is. But I think ultimately, anything that grows and continues to improve is successful. So if your business and your opportunities continue to follow that direction, well, you're further along than most. For those who aren't in that position, and you always never know what you don't know. So, it's easier once you know it to share it and have some confidence in its ability to be successful. The whole foundation of LinkTank is combining Mike's and my experiences, insights, and more important and as important, let's say, vision. You got to kind of see around the corner where you're going. So what we try to practice is really learn best practices, right? Don't go in there and assume it very much and you stumble and you fall and you don't even know you did it. The other one is actually take action. Me and Mike always emphasize it's better to do than to think, because by doing you'll learn and you don't have to think, right? You can just apply reality. But the more important thing is having a goal, having something you can measure against. There's a saying, you can't manage what you can't measure, right? And whatever your goal is, that's your starting point. So don't try to impress yourself or anybody else. Do what you can do. But here's the, let's say, secret sauce or missing ingredient. Collaboration is so important for knowledge share, for working together, and LinkedIn really rewards collaboration. They love people doing more together faster, and their whole goal is to get people to spend more time on LinkedIn and interact more, and hopefully it's everybody's benefit to be successful. So that's really the overall umbrella of it. Mike?
Yes. So what you said is perfect. It's right on. Doing is better than thinking, because you get to learn and optimize. That the biggest change between the old way of marketing before the internet and the new way of marketing is instantaneous feedback. The old way of marketing, I used to do direct mail. You would send stuff out and you would code the direct mail pieces, and then you would just wait to see what happened after a week or 2 or 3 weeks. And then that's crazy when you think about today. today, if you're on Facebook and you're running ads, you know the first hour, second hour, third hour, you ran a lot of ads, Don. So one of the things I wanted to show on the screen is something that's new by LinkedIn, and it's we actually don't use this because we're using Shield Analytics for all of our customers, which give us way more details. But let me just back up so people can figure this out, and then if you want to share yours, Don, we can also. But you go to your homepage right now. As the homepage is the live broadcast, which is pretty cool. But you'd scroll down your homepage. This section here, analytics, this is new. They never really gave you the ability to see this post impression stuff. So we were always 100% reliant on Shield Analytics. But now when I click this is amazing data. This is what Don's talking about. Don's talking about if you think, then you won't be in action. And if you're not in action, you have no chance. If you don't think and you do, and then you look at the data and then you start tweaking and making incremental improvements, knowing that there is no perfect plan, then you'll be able to optimize and grow. It doesn't happen overnight, but the guarantee is that if you stay consistent and you keep looking and making adjustments, you will get better and better. So if we look here, this is the last 7 days. And I have been lucky enough to have 124,000 impressions in the last 7 days. That's, I've been at it 3 some odd years. Some people don't have 124,000 impressions their entire life on LinkedIn. And most people don't have 124,000 impressions in a year on LinkedIn or anywhere close to that. But this is just, 7 days. So it takes a while to get proficient, but this gives you the ability to look at the data to see, okay, what's going on. And then from here, you can look at impressions. You can look at engagement to see, okay, what's happening on the posts. And then you can also go down here and see, okay, based on this activity, am I attracting the right people? And this is crucial because, if you're getting views and it's the wrong people, then it's not going to help you when you turn views into conversations, into appointments, because you're going to be with the wrong people. So this little thing in itself is magnificent. And you don't need a third party anymore. And if you go back just for shits and giggles, let's go back 365 and see what this number is. I don't know what it is. 2.2 million over the last year. So that's not bad. And actually, it's pretty good. But then, am I still consistent with what I'm doing? Am I attracting founders, chief executives, co-founders, owners, and presidents? That makes up 21 and 9, 30, 38, 40% of my views are exactly the people that I want to be doing business with. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. And Don, talk about what I just shared and what that means to somebody. Like what from a practical standpoint, if you give them, okay, try this tomorrow, and then 1 day's data doesn't make sense, but certainly a week's data that will make sense. Like, what can they do, Don?
Well, basically, what you do is whatever you can do where you are and with what you have. And that's where you have to start. To Mike's point and to LinkedIn's benefit of as far as analytics, you can now track what you do to see results. It's hard to work in a vacuum, and this allows you to track. It allows you to try new things, and really having a tool chest that has the strategies that you can apply based on situations that are aligned with that. To that extent, you could try a poll and compare that to a day you didn't do a poll and see the results. It can give you some A/B testing ability. If I knew in the old days, what I can find out for free today, fast, free, it's there. Before, people didn't know, you had a good excuse, right? It wasn't available. Now it's available. The question is, really, are you aware of it? If you're aware of it, again, do you know how to apply it? And when you apply it, do you know how to get results? And there are people like me and Mike who are streamlining this whole thing ourselves. I look at my analytics all the time. You know, last year in 365 days, I had 3.8 million, 3.8 million activity. But here's the thing I'm learning, which is also cool, because not only in the analytics they show you the big number, they show you engagements, right? And what you want is a higher degree of engagements to the number of people who see what you do and participate. And again, we talk about this every week. There's so few people on LinkedIn doing anything. There's fewer people doing anything right. And there's even fewer people doing things consistently right. And then you elevate the video, LinkedIn Live, blah, blah, blah. You can get to the top of the mountain by just declaring yourself at that point. No one's going to stop you. Actually, you're going to be lonely for a while, you know, just to sit, you know, be in this unexplored territory. And that's the beauty of it. You know, going back retro, and I always love to because it has so much value, I believe. I remember I was a big newspaper advertising, spending $50,000 a month in the Denver area in the 80s. So take those numbers, and that's Denver. I used to have double pages with color, with blah, blah, blah. They used to say, I got another deal, 80% off another pickup, you know, and I'd grab everything they could, and it worked. The point is, you get all you want for nothing on LinkedIn. You can take any message, post it 20 times a day. Why not? When you're sitting around looking at TV and thinking, hey, I could have done a post. And the post can only has to be, what are you thinking now? What do you want to share? You don't got to be Shakespeare. And I think that's the key. People wait for something that's never going to come. They're as good as they're going to be. And the key is actuating. And I think that's really one of the motivations behind this program, is to get you aware, but also make you feel a little guilty that there's huge opportunity. All it takes is someone to turn the switch. So Mike, what do you think about all those potatoes?
That's a sack of potatoes. I think it's great. You know, the inaction, I can't say it enough, the just being in action is all that really matters. And it's because, like you said, you know, one of my favorite clients that we had in the beginning was PhD. He was an ultra bright guy in Chicago. I forget the name of the department, but he had his PhD in the bio something thing, ed books. He was a black belt in Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu, and really one of the great thinkers. And he taught at the school. And I kept telling him, you've got to learn to create a post with speed. Because if you don't learn how to create a post with speed, then what you're doing is creating a framework that is what's the word? That you can't, you will not continue with. Like, in other words, if I told you, Don, we're going to start a new workout routine, and we're going to work out 3 hours a day. So that's like, fine. You might say, fine. And after 3 days, we're not doing it anymore, because nobody's got 3 hours to do it. Even though if I told you you're gonna live 2 years longer, but you don't have 3 hours every day for the next 20 years. The math doesn't work. So the 150 word post is like that's like the sweet spot that we teach. And it was taking him almost an hour to do the 150 word post. I found out, because he was complaining, this is taking so long. I'm like, God, what's going on here? And he's a perfectionist. So I said to him, I guarantee you won't continue. And I also guarantee that if you did, 6 months from now, someone's not going to go and say, hey, I've been reading your post for 6 months and you've never made a grammar error. I want to do business with you. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. So the point is, and you've just got to make a commitment and say, I'm going to do it, knowing that you might not be great to start, and then just keep at it. Now, the advantage is that once we release LinkTank, the program, then you can come into the program, and then we actually take the part away that you have to think. You don't have to think anymore. All you have to do is do. We're going to tell you this is what you should do, because we know I've got 60 clients. We're running the Done For You program every day. We're doing, so we know what to do. So now you don't have to worry about do. I mean, you don't have to worry about think. You just do. And then you start to look at your numbers. You'll be able to ask questions, but you're going to have a blueprint to follow. And that's perfect for many people. Other people like, to wing it themselves. And the problem with winging it is most people don't push through to success.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make a decision. You want to wing it? Awesome. Don and I are here. We tell you to message us. We're not only going to deal with people that are in the LinkTank membership. We've been telling everyone for 3 weeks, send us questions. We'll bring you on, perhaps. We'll even put you in front of our crowd, like we've been telling everyone. But this is so typical. Now, have you got a question yet sent to you?
No,
No.
I think what you're saying is so true. Thomas Watson, the founder of IBM, said if you want to get super successful, double your rate of failure, right? So the more you do, the more you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you climb. So, no one should judge early on, am I a success or failure? When the game's on, you play and you let the scoreboard take care of itself. What Mike's saying is, we're not talking about one day. We're talking about today, yesterday, and going forward and tomorrow, what's working for everybody. Wouldn't you love to go to a racetrack and someone says, here's the winners for today? Wouldn't take you long to get in and put as much money as you could in. And I think that's really the key, is we're giving winners away, and you have the analytics to track every day to see if it works. You have yourself to trust to see if you enjoy the difference in what you're doing with us as opposed to winging it. And you can always go back to winging it. So there's no one-way street here. And plus, our success is going to be based on early adopter success. If people we bring in and help and they become successful, they're great for them. They're also great for everybody who's yet to come in. So we want to build on the first group, really start to understand how we can bring the most value the fastest, because LinkedIn will give us the platform to expand this. And I think to Mike's earlier point, the key issue was sustainability and scalability, right? Can what you do sustain? Can you work out 3 hours a day? If you can, you're ahead of the curve, and I give you credit. And the other thing is, can you scale, which is get beyond yourself, right? Can you take a day off and feel like the company or your business is going to be in as good a shape or better without you? And I think that's what we're also offering, is quality of life, right? When you're doing things better, when you're having more fun, when you're more successful, you can't help but your quality of life go up. So ask yourself, are you happy? Could you be happier? And maybe we could help you. And that's always a maybe. And the help you is help you help you. Not just help you, because we can send it, but you gotta send it out. So I think that's really the key. Our message is simple because it is. It's basic. And there's nothing you can think of that's worth, let's say, setting a goal for that you don't have to put some work, time, or thought into.
Yeah. And the other thing that you'll come to learn, and this is another open opportunity to learn for free, is that Don and I do everything ourselves and we test it ourselves. So if you started watching LinkTank from show number 1 to 2 to 3 to where we are today, we're grinding it out. We're doing all the testing. We're making all the mistakes. Now we're getting some results. We can see things are growing, but we're committed. Like, we already know that this is happening. We got LinkTank. We just launched it. And even if it was 8 weeks where it was little or nothing happening, we know that we're building a tremendous foundation. And that's what happens. It's, it's not a snowball effect's great because you can see it. It goes like this and then it gets bigger and it's getting bigger. This is like, fundamentally, we're is totally different, because what you're doing is just, it's like it's like if you were going to build a building and you don't level the ground and pound it down so it can hold the building, then you got a problem. So, but if it's going to take you 2 months to build a building, and it takes you, 6 weeks to level the ground and 2 weeks to put the building up, all the magic's done in leveling the ground. So this is the type of work that everyone needs to be excited about, because LinkedIn works. it just plain out works. It's not Don and I. Go, look at what Gary Vaynerchuk's done, and there's a lot of other people. It works. So we're just encouraging you to stick to it. The theme for today was to do. You've got data now. I mean, LinkedIn's giving you the data for free. So don't worry about don't worry about perfection, because you won't do it. Just get something out that's going to be good and get some consistency. We spoke about that today. And consistency, then start looking and then making tweaks and figuring out, okay, is that resonating? Ask people. You said, Don, early on, like the different posts, just ask people, what do they need help with? So these are all things that you can take away from today, which is, we're running up against our 20 minutes. Our objective is teach you what's working, what's not. If it's new, we're going to tell you it's new. This is a new experiment for Don and I. And you just ride along with us and learn from us, right? There's a lot of things that we're doing that's not new. So that's really the opportunity, is to say, hey, I make an investment in myself to learn and go faster, make less mistakes, and create more opportunities. So that's my big summary.
Yeah, no, it's all good, and it's getting better. And here's the thing, we're a work in progress, and that's good. If we were already there, the opportunity had been had already, right? We're just, comparing Mike's example, I look at it like we're cracking out of an egg, right? And everything's going on the inside, and, what we're trying to do is soften the egg to make the breakthrough a little quicker and a little bit easier. So we're pecking away. The main thing is whoever wants to get out of the egg's got to be pecking and working from the inside too. So, it's a situation where we're going to higher ground, wanting to take as many people with us. And here's the thing, you could be not only key to your success, but key to our success too, because we're into learning as well as teaching and sharing and collaborating and really giving the best stuff as fast as we can, because to Mike's point, we never worry too much of getting overworked, right? It's like selling 100 buffet tickets, only 2 people show up, right? They can't eat enough to pay for the 100. So there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of us. And, we're excited, because if it was just us, that would be probably enough. We could probably work it. But when you add that to LinkedIn and Microsoft, and, just in the last 6 weeks, they've added so many things. I would suggest, if nothing else, do something today. If you can't do that, check your analytics. That would be a new adventure for most people. There's other buttons we talked about in the past that we can't really go into detail now. And that's another thing, is as we learn, we share. While Mike is reading and talking to people, he's doing it for you while you don't have to. And you're getting the same benefit. So look at it from Pathfinder and opening roads and filling in with people who could help us with an opportunity that's way too big for ourselves. So anyways, we can't help but go over because of enthusiasm and excitement. We can't bottle it up that much. So thank you again for watching, and look forward to Friday when we do it again. And in the meantime, good luck, and share success, share activity, share anything. We're into sharing.
Do it. Have a great week. We'll see you on Friday.
Friday it is, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Have a nice one. Thanks.